Morning, how are you?
From one Tony to another Anthony there. Yes, we wish you the best. How are things going? I know you're out promoting the new book, Medium Raw. Where are you at this morning?
In New York, leaving for Green Bay and Tulsa.
Oh, my goodness. That is, now how do you get to, I was going to say, is there a direct flight to Green Bay from New York? I'm wondering.
I think I changed in Detroit.
I was going to say, that's kind of in the, yeah. Well, hey, man, it's good to have you on. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. The new book is out. We want to talk about that. But first things first, I mean, really the food world, you know, not just, I mean, with your show, No Reservations, these books out now, you got the Food Network, the Cooking Channel. What is it with the fascination, you think, with people seeing, like, folks like you travel the world and just try all these new foods? Do you like people kind of living through you like that?
Yeah, I mean, this celebrity chef scam is turning out to be a pretty good racket, you know?
Well, I mean, what kind of started it all? I mean, you know, what's your take on how it all kind of got going and everything?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to look back at Emeril as maybe one of the first people to kind of make that weird transition where people started looking at food as entertainment.
Right.
I mean, you know, look at us where there are, you know, two 24-hour networks dedicated to watching people eat or shove food into their faces or cook. That's a big and weird change. I sure haven't figured it out myself why we're doing that, but I'm taking full advantage of it, I can tell you.
Well, now you've got to travel the world. You've got to travel all over the place. Give me a couple of the places out there that folks need to kind of put on their bucket list to make sure that they get to before they move on in life.
Well, I think Vietnam, Spain, Italy are all like really great places with, you know, really wonderful places where you find yourself saying, wow, it's just like the movies and the food is delicious. But I think, you know, maybe lesser known ones and more affordable, Uruguay and Colombia are both like really great places to go.
Really? What's that? What kind of? I guess what's one thing about those places that, you know, a food or it's like part of the culture that we just don't get here?
Well, the food and the people in Colombia are great. The country's coming back in a big way from some hard times.
Right.
The architecture is beautiful, and the food's a mix of like sort of West Indian, indigenous, and Spanish. So it's really, you know, got a lot going for it. And Uruguay is just like underpopulated. You know, Montevideo's like old Havana in the movies. You know, stretches of incredible beaches, and not a lot of people there.
Wow.
And good steak.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Now, like I said, you've had a lot of food come across your plate on the show, traveling the world. What's one thing, I guess, that even you kind of go, oh, man, I can't believe I'm getting ready to put this into my body?
You know, I mean, rather famously, the business end of a warthog was one of the worst case scenarios. And then the national dish of Iceland, like on their holiday, Thorblot, it's called I forget what they call it, but it's basically rotten shark that they pickle in lactic acid, and that stuff is really vile.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I guess. I guess you could deep fry that, maybe, right? You can deep fry anything.
Bury in the desert someplace, you know, like radioactive waste.
Oh man, it'll soak up the oil out in the oil spill right now. Just put it out there; it'll soak it all up. Hey, let's talk about the new book a little bit. It's kind of, is it a follow up a little bit to Kitchen Confidential, or does it kind of pick up? I mean, does it tie in at all with Medium Raw, the new book?
I think it's a look. You know, a lot has changed in the business in 10 years. My life has certainly changed. So it's a look back at both those things. You know, how my life has gotten strange and different, and how it's changed since I left the kitchen, and then how the business that I spent most of my life in, how that's changed. And you know, with cooking is a fairly prestigious profession now. People actually care what chefs think. That's a big change, and so I talk about that. And then there's a lot of angry ranting and raving and settling of scores.
Well, there would be no other way except that. We wouldn't expect anything less from you, Anthony, on that one. Anthony Bourdain, the new book is Medium Raw, A Bloody Valentine to the World of Food and the People Who Cook. I like that. That's deep, man. That's gory right there, you know? But it's out. I guess folks can get it at all their major booksellers, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's great stuff, Anthony. We appreciate you taking some time out. I know you're busy, got a lot of stuff on your plate, but you know what? Get to Kentucky sometime, stop by, and we'll go have lunch. I'll let you pick the place, and we'll eat some warthog or something, you know?
Thank you.
There you go. Appreciate it. Anthony Bourdain, everybody. The new book, Medium Raw. Go out and get it if you're a fan of his show, No Reservations on the Travel Channel. You will love this new book. He's an awesome guy. Tony Rose Morning Show right here, 100.7 Sam FM.